Okay, so I probably should say this. I know I shouldn't have to, but I'm going to say it anyway. When you're working with food, especially chicken, make sure you're washing your hands constantly. Salmonella poisoning is a real thing, and you really want to, keep it away from you as much as possible. Best way of doing that: wash your hands constantly. When you're done cutting up and doing what you're doing, disinfect the whole area. Wipe it all down. Use hot soapy water, then disinfect it afterwards. Keep the bacteria down. It's important. Hi there. So, welcome to Fearless Cooking, or Cooking Fearless. It's Cooking Fearless, and I have to remember that because I keep calling it Fearless Cooking because, I'm a moron. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to be making a chicken stock. Now, a lot of recipes do call for chicken stock, and you can do store-bought. You can also do homemade. I'm making a homemade chicken stock. I'm going to be making it from scraps from chicken quarters. Now, I'm planning on making a chicken piccata recipe in a couple of days, and the recipe itself calls for boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Well, there weren't any to be found, so we went with chicken quarters. So I'm going to separate the drumstick from the thigh, and then I'm going to pull the meat off, and the skin and the bones I'm going to boil into a stock. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm not going to subject you to watching me, cut up the chicken, but I'll talk to you after I get the chicken cut up and the bones ready to go, and just let you know what I do with it. All right. Hey, so I just cut up the chicken, and I put the stuff that I'm going to use in the refrigerator. What I have here now, and I'll be more than happy to show it to you, are the parts of the chicken. This is the stuff that I'm not going to be cooking with directly, but I am going to use this to make a stock. This is going to be a fantastic stock. Now, as you can see, I've got a roasting pan here with parchment paper, and I have what I'm going to be making the stock out of in a stock pot right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything out in this thing in a single layer, and I'm going to put it into the broiler and brown it up a little bit, because brown food is tasty food. I think I'm stealing that from somebody on the Food Network channel. Anyway, it's true though. Okay, so I've got everything laid out in the pan. It's all in a single layer. The oven is turned on, the broiler is turned on to high. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to this. And I'm going to put it into the broiler for a couple of minutes on both sides to get it good and brown. And then after that, I'm going to put it in the stock pot. Fill it with water rather. Throw in what? A celery stalk, carrot, and a small onion. Sorry, Mr. Burgess. And then we'll get that boiling up. Alright, so after you have the chicken and the vegetables in the stock pot, I also put in a couple of sprigs of rosemary. Fill it with water, roughly 1/2 to 3/4, and let it come to a boil. Reduce the heat and let it simmer for a good couple of hours. I would strongly recommend letting it cool completely before putting it into the refrigerator. After you strain it, of course, you got to strain the bones, the skin, the gristle, and the vegetables out. Now, make sure it's cool completely before you put it in the refrigerator. You can put it in an ice bath. Set the bowl that you've got the stock in an ice bath in the sink, and it'll get it cool fairly quickly. And then you can go ahead and put it in the refrigerator. Once it's completely cool, skim off the fat if that's what you like to do. It's much easier to do it when it's cool. And then divide it into bags and put it in the freezer. That's what I do. Alright, thank you so much. Remember, keep everything sanitized, and don't be afraid of the chicken. Okay, cook without fear. Cheers.